Okay, so I grabbed this little bike off of Marketplace because it's cheap and had some Sun Tour parts on it. You know, it's a little nicer than it looked in the photos in some ways, a lot less nice in other ways. The brakes look good, one of the levers is bad, it was missing one of the crank arms, and had weird campy wheels on it, which looked like they could be good, but I haven't checked them out yet. But what else it had was a pretty tight stuck bottom bracket and a totally frozen stem. So if you saw my other video on getting a frozen stem out, I dropped a little lube in, put the wrench in, whacked it with a hammer. Nothing on this one. You know, 8 times out of 10 that'll pop a frozen stem right out. This one I've really soaked in lube. There's a little dust shield on the headset top nut. I sort of pry that back and pour some lube in. I'm using my silicone spray lube because I'm stupid instead of using penetrating oil. So I don't know if it's helping or making things worse or better. But I've really dumped a bunch in a few times. Let it soak overnight. I put an axle mount, like for a car or something in here. Nice flat surface, protecting the dropouts. I'm going to put on a block of wood. And I'm going to pound this with a hammer. See, that knocks it loose. I'm pretty sure this is the plunger style. And they get up there and they expand and they tighten. So when I knock this loose, the plunger style usually comes out 9 times out of 10. So we're going to try that. I sprayed this bottom bracket a little bit. I got the other side to come out 3 or 4 turns, but it was like squealing. I dumped a bunch of that lube down the seat tube. Maybe some of it got in those threads and might help. I think I got this side to turn like a quarter turn a couple of times. It's tearing up the threads. This does not want to come out, but we'll try. I was waiting for my roommates to leave. I think they're all gone. I think they're all at work. Roommate U is really quiet in the next room over, so he might be here. I might bug him, but hopefully not. But let's give this one more tap with a big hammer. A big hammer. I say nothing. Another thing you can do for stuck stems, sometimes I'll put a junk dead wheel in here so I can really pinch the wheel with my thighs and put a big flat bar in here. Get it to pop loose that way. Maybe we should try that, but I'm going to whack it a few more times on the ground first. So here's just a big block of wood. I'm going to set this on the block of wood just so I don't damage the floor and the carpet and whatever. I'm really going to give it some wax. Nothing. Should we try the junk wheel method? Let's give her a try. So I got an old crappy mountain bike bar. Came out something else. This is the True Temper steel one. It's a little tougher. It's loosey-a-goosey. Kinda use my knee against the wheel. Oh, look at that! Before I got to do anything more drastic, that worked. I don't know why it's not coming up. Hey, maybe the last hit worked, or maybe this wheel worked. That was really easy, so I'm assuming this is the last hit. We saved this stem. Didn't hit the stem with the hammer, just hitting the tool. Wedge is out. You can see it's the plunger style. Looks like that silicone lube penetrated about none. Yeah, the front looked like it penetrated like a 1/2 inch. It's a little wet at the bottom coming up, so maybe that helped. So I saved this cool old weird stem, which I'm happy about. Except for that little top nut, what I thought was a pop-out thing, and I broke it. It's old brittle plastic. And the bottom threads are crazy tight. Oh, that's why there's a stupid snap ring in there. Why do you guys hide a snap ring underneath a bolt head you can't see? Man, some old parts manufacturers just a-holes. I don't know why it would not come out. So kind of mangled that snap ring. Interesting. All right, there's a couple more methods for pretty stuck stems. Like I said in my previous videos, if they get real stuck, you can cut the stem in half take a hacksaw blade, I usually put some stuff around it, wrap it in duct tape to make a handle, and just spend hours and hours and hours hacksawing. Guys have said they soaked them for months and months and months in penetrating oil. Guys have told me they've plugged it up, filled it full of hydraulic fluid or whatever, hooked an air compressor up and blasted it. Never tried that one. Maybe that'll work. People have used vinegar and Coke and different stuff. So, you know, if you really love the stem or really want to save the frame, keep trying different weird stuff. And worst case, you do the hacksaw if you're real careful. So you want to hacksaw through the aluminum stem, which is kind of easy, except for it's awkward. But you don't want to hacksaw into the steel of the actual fork steer tube itself. And once you hacksaw all the way through, you need to hacksaw again next to it. So you're sort of cutting a sliver all the way out, so you can hammer that sliver out with a chisel and hammer. And then you can start peeling and prying at the stem. Because it's, you know, a full circle filling that space. Once there's a sliver in it, you can pry itself into that sliver, making the stem physically smaller than it was, smaller than the steer tube. It's a little easier to knock out then. I've heard guys, you know, stick like a big dowel from the bottom and try and hammer up to knock a stem out. In the case of this wedge style stem, the wedge goes inside the stem. All you're going to do is knock it tighter and tighter and tighter. In the other wedge style, you're still going to be pounding that wedge into the stem. It might help, but it might just bulge and destroy your fork. Which is another method. If you got a stuck stem, you can just remove and replace your fork. Go buy a used fork someplace. If you don't care that your fork doesn't match, it's ugly. But if you can save the original stuff, that is the way to go. So yeah, there's just a couple more methods for trying. I'm going to try and get this BB out now. So I have like an FSA ISIS bottom bracket tool. It fits a lot tighter than the Park Shimano style. Still fits the splines. And it's for 1/2 inch drive instead of 3/8, so you get a big breaker bar on it. So let's try. I'm pretty sure this is English threaded. Everything else about this bike is Italian. But I'm pretty sure it's Japanese bottom bracket. I mean, they made those in Italian too. But Italian's oversized. They're usually labeled on the cup 36 millimeter. The non-drive is coming out. The non-drive is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, which Italian also is. This one has been a nightmare. I moved a little bit. I mean, maybe it's Italian, it'll come out the other way. I think Italian's right-hand thread on both sides, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Maybe I'll try working at the other side too. Going back and forth. Get a little bit of that, but it's really tight. Get this bike stand real tight. Oh man. It's trying to come down. I'm going to brace it with my shoulder. If I can. Put my shoulder underneath this dropout. Sort of just give me a third hand. Oh, that hurts. Let's try the other way. So this is going to be righty-loosey. If it's English threaded. I don't know. Maybe I'll try the other side some more. I'm thinking about going to the hardware store. I used to have a real short guy, and you could use some washers on this side and a crank bolt to hold it in tight. And you can get a big adjustable wrench on it. I'm thinking about, these are all I have is long, so I need to go to the hardware store and get the right bolt. It's like crank bolt threaded, but a little longer. Some big heavy duty washers to hold this cup in tight on the frame. So I can really get a big adjustable wrench on it. Make myself a little bottom brackety tool. Sometimes working on this non-drive side, if you can get this cup looser out, the other one will come right out. It's often the trick with really tight bottom brackets or things don't fit right. Get the non-drive cup out of the way and everything plays a little bit nicer. So the non-drive is normal thread. It's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So let's try some more lefty-loosies. That's why I had to stop last night. It's just screaming. Don't want to drive all my roommates insane. And it's working, and it's getting a little quieter. And the whole unit came out this way because this is like an old UN 71. It's like the Dur Ace or Ultegra level. So they're almost like an old Phil Wood, where both cups are removable and threadable. So this cup's frozen on this bottom bracket, so I pulled the whole bottom bracket out, the non-drive side, and saw that screen was probably the other side. Oh man! And you can see in here, it's just full of rust. Wowzers. It doesn't look bad, it looks like crumbly, dirty, muddy flakes. Probably from tubes, probably from the seat tube, probably from not having bottle bosses in, or sneaking in the seat post, or a different fluid one that was down too low for years, or something. This is a real nice bottom bracket shell if I can get it all apart. Maybe we can save it, reuse it. Now, that bottom bracket shell isn't in here filling up the cup, taking space. The cup can collapse, it can flex, it can move. Now there's a better chance. On Japanese stuff, the drive side cup is reversed, just how the non-drive pedal is reversed, so this should be righty-loosey. Oh, I swear I got this move yesterday. Sort of damaging the tool, damaging these teeth. I think I really need to clamp a tool in. I'll go going by the parts. We'll clamp it in. It'll be great. Oh, look at that. It does say, I think that says 36 by 24 by 70. So it is Italian. See the numbers on the side that's not helpful. Italians both sides are righty tighty, lefty loosey, so I've been tightening it. So we're going to come the other way and try and loosen it. Let's give it one more try now that we have a clue about what's actually happening. Oh, come on, man. Tighten down, stand. Tighten down. If you had a friend helping hold this frame down so you can really leverage it, it'd be helpful. Because one-handed, these tools just slip so easy. It's so hard to do things one-handed. See if I can hold it in while I get maximum leverage. I'm just moving the whole stand, just grinding my bearing. You can feel the whole, 200-pound base standing up. I don't know if that turned or just popped out. Let's try one more time. See if I can really hold it in with my hip. Oh! Yeah, hip to the rescue. Hip cheater bar. Look at that. It is turning, but barely. Come on, man, you're soaking in lube. Oh. And the dirt seal's broken between the cup and the frame. It's moving, so this is the right way. Maybe a little WD this time. It's moving. But it really doesn't want to be. That cup's losing teeth. We got to bolt this tool in, which I don't want to do. I have to bolt the Shimano one in. It's actually got wrench flats. But it is moving, and we know it's Italian, and we know it's going the right way. We do have penetrating oil on it. In worst case, we do the same thing we do with the stem. I can take that hacksaw, cut a few wedges in, try not to get all the way down into the actual threads of the bottom bracket, which is hard. And then try and chip and peel and hammer this guy out. Save this frame. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's something cool. Alright, went to the hardware store, we got some bolts and got some washers. Woo, hoo, hoo. So we can clamp some stuff on. These crank bolts are the only bolts I can't remember on a bike by memory. By name or size, I mean. They are M8 by 1 thread pitch. Most other M8 things on bikes are 1.25 thread pitch, so not interchangeable. I'm gonna have to knock this cup off. I'm just gonna gently set it on the vise so the vise isn't pinching this, but just barely touching this. I'm just gonna whack this with a hammer a couple of times. I'm gonna put in a crank bolt, so if we damage anything, it's this bolt and not this bottom bracket, because it's probably reusable once it's all cleaned up. Probably, maybe. So to set this on the vise, a few taps here and just boop, drove this cup right off. It's real corrosion-y and terrible. It's good times. Now, if there's nothing in here, it gets stuck and score. Should just be able to push this guy right back in theory. And why would it fit in? The cup is so swole. Maybe that'll work. Just suck it in more. 13. Okay, got these M8 by 1 bolts in there. This bottom bracket's not sucked all the way in, so it might move. I might have to tighten it down a little bit more, but let's give her a shot. My God, it is so tight and shitty. Oh, it's working, but it's like the slowest process ever. The tool's not slipping out because it's being held in nice and firm. I'm holding here for leverage. Oh, let's hope these bottom bracket threads are clean and nice and not the cups take all the damage. This also has got a bunch of Loctite on it. So that's something we can talk about with Italian bottom bracket shells, is this cup comes out. Since it's not reverse thread, you're always pedaling, the cup loosens up. So people get annoyed and it's like maybe Loctite some bottom brackets in. I mean, the threads are dead, they're Loctited in, but then it should probably come out easy. And it's starting to get a little less horrible. But it really is all about leverage. Really reverse, like doing a push-up over here and holding up here. And it's getting a little easier. Yeah, you can see those Loctite coming right out. Big rings of Loctite. Don't Loctite bottom brackets in. Whatever Loctite was there is either starting to loosen up or break up or fall off. You gotta put Italian bottom brackets in this hard. So you really gotta tighten down, hold the frame, maybe even cheater bar a little bit and really make them tight, but not Loctite. I heart cheater bars. These threads do not look good on here. On the bottom bracket cup. They're aluminum and soft and they look mangled. But hopefully nice sharp steel threads are fine because they're just aluminum threads. These nice cups. Unlike a lot of bottom bracket shells which have stainless steel threads and can very easily damage the bottom bracket threads in the frame instead of on the bottom bracket itself. I mean, that's why I Loctited it in. So I knew it was all mangled. Okay. And it came out, and you can see it. Every thread is full of Loctite. I thought these threads looked bad, but I think it's just all this Loctite. It's Loctite. All this white stuff's just Loctite. So much Loctite. Which means there's no grease. It's half of why this is so cruddy. But these threads look totally fine. They need to be Loctite scraped out of them, and they need to be wire brushed to get some of that rust out of them. That takes 5 seconds. Yeah, at least this side, the bottom looks good. I'll look at it upside down and sideways and both sides, but I think this frame is fine. I might frame saver it or WD-40 the inside through all these little vent holes. Find any holes you can, spray WD-40 or frame saver up inside. Wiggle the frame upside down until it drips out everywhere. Keep it from corroding on the inside. Doesn't seem to really matter much in Oregon or low rust places, but you know, on the coasts and other high rust places and places with they salt roads and junk like that, it matters a lot. But here we are, it's saved. I just have to pop the headset out and make sure there's nothing funky there. Cool, a little elbow grease and trying a few things and a run to the hardware store, which is going to be great because it'll come in handy for every single time I have a tight bottom bracket from now on. It's worth the $4.36. We now have a nice old saved Italian frame with a weird Dior DX headset in it for some reason, so we'll get in there and see what's going on with that. Is it Italian threaded Dior? Or Italian threads and English threads are pretty similar, they can friction fit them. Maybe it's an English Dior headset, which is funny. Because it's early enough, it ought to be all JIS, but I guess they made everything ISO and JIS. But that's neither here nor there. What size is this frame? Keep all my tools in this one basket for some reason. Looks a little small for me. Ooh, 53! Tiny, man. If anyone needs a sweet old Italian 53 centimeter frame, let me know. The next episode, if I do another episode on this, I'll take this headset out, make sure the fork's aligned, we'll measure the frame, make sure it's aligned. Really double check for any cracks or dings, no frontal marks, any other problems that would make this need some more work before it can be sold or built up. Otherwise, maybe I'll build it up with some spare parts and make it cool. Who knows? So thanks for watching.